Alright, this is a response to Monoxide's video and just, all wrestling fans in general who are celebrating that the WWE got a 2.5 in Raw ratings. Well, and they're saying that TNA is rising in the ratings and it's gonna kill Raw. And then I'm gonna address those fans and I'm gonna address the my opinions on why Raw is dying. First of all, when you TNA fans, like Monoxide said, when you got a lower rating, nobody was celebrating the death of TNA, but Raw gets a 2.5, which is its lowest rating in 10 years. The lowest ratings have been dropping, they've been dropping steadily, and they've been at an even, and now it hits 2.5, which may have been by a few points, and now you're celebrating the death. For all you know, in 2 weeks, it could be 2.8, it could be a 3.0, it could be anything. It doesn't mean it's consistently gonna start dropping right now. That's for you TNA fans, and the fact that your show is starting to get cliche-ish, your ratings aren't doing so good either. You're getting beat by the new ECW, which isn't even close to the original ECW. You're getting beat out by ECW, SmackDown, WWE, and you would be getting beat out by Ring of Honor if Ring of Honor had a television deal. Now that's enough for you TNA fans. Alright, now I'm gonna address you WWE fans, and why I think the WWE's ratings are dropping right now. I think it's basically just because us real fans, we know about the backstage politics in wrestling, and we know that certain wrestlers are getting held back because they're not over, and we know that there are people that are refusing to put other wrestlers over, the bigger stars. And we know that someone like Randy Orton, who's been saying he has all this backstage power and running his mouth and just being just terrible backstage with the other wrestlers and things like that. And for him to get a title shot over everyone else because Triple H wants that to happen, it's just, it's incredible. And Jeff Hardy is supposedly got sent home because of how he's not over with the fans or whatever. And Shelton Benjamin is being held back right now because he's having a quote-unquote attitude backstage. But Randy Orton has an attitude times a million, and he gets a title shot. And he's the one that ends John Cena's 11-month reign as champion. Well, see, that's one of the problems that us wrestling fans have because of what Triple H wants backstage. And we know Triple H has politics, and we know Triple H refused to put people over that wasn't in his little group. The people that Triple H put over, he never put over, and I don't mean let them beat him. I mean actually made a star out of him. He made a star out of Randy Orton. He made a star out of Batista. And Undertaker makes stars out of a lot of people. He made a star out of Brock Lesnar, for example. Undertaker's the one that got Brock Lesnar over. And Triple H didn't put over John Cena because John Cena was already over with the fans. And remember, put over doesn't just mean beat him. It means you let them make a star off of you. And Triple H's pride won't let him do that. And it's apparent here. Because the reason he wants Orton to get a title shot and beat John Cena at SummerSlam is so that he, after he beats King Booker at this SummerSlam, can get a title shot at Randy Orton and start that feud. And Bobby Lashley is not going to be anywhere in the picture anymore, by the way. I just want to say that. And I think fans are sick of it. They're sick of, getting the same old things and having real talent like Mr. Kennedy, Shelton Benjamin, even Jeff Hardy, who has all the talent in the world. I'm not saying he's the greatest wrestler, but he has a lot of talent. And you have someone like him being held back. You have Shelton Benjamin being held back. You have a lot of wrestlers being held back that don't deserve to be held back, but they're in this situation because Triple H and Randy Orton and all their little group of backstage, it's like a new version of the Click or something like that. They are pulling the strings back there. Stephanie is pulling strings too backstage, and people really are afraid to voice their opinion on Stephanie because they're afraid that they're gonna get fired. And Shane knows it. Shane's actually went to the board and he's actually tried to talk to this from what I've heard, and they shoot him down because they're afraid of Stephanie. Shane actually went and asked if there's a problem there, and they said no because they're afraid of Stephanie. Shane needs to really take this company. I don't think Stephanie is the one that can do it right now. Stephanie is basically ruining the company right now. If they are paying Paul Heyman to stay at home and not do anything, like like what Truth Slayer said, because they think he can go to TNA and turn it around. That should be a direct example right there that they're not doing something right, that they need Paul Heyman or some other story maker to do things. One thing I've noticed in the WWE, because I've been playing a lot of their SmackDown versus Raw games and things like that, their storylines in that game are a lot better than their storylines in real life, and that's saying something. When I was in SmackDown vs. Raw and Trish won the World Heavyweight title by betraying Chris Masters in the title match, that would have been something I would have loved to see on real TV. The fact that their games have better storylines than their professional writers can actually think of is an example of how far they are falling right now. And they really need to turn it around and stop with the same cliche things. And people need to stop blaming John Cena. John Cena feels exactly the same way about that you do. He goes to the board of directors. He says that he doesn't want to have this freaking Superman gimmick. He said that he wanted to go heel numerous times. He wanted to add something new to that character numerous times, and they basically shot him down. He basically has no control over his character right now, until, I'm guessing, he loses the title to Randy Orton as this Superman character, which is to give Orton more of a push, which he doesn't really deserve. And I think fans are just getting tired of that, basically. And that's basically what I wanted to say about that. And ECW has been doing better. John Morrison. One word of advice I'd love to give to ECW is not to push CM Punk obviously towards the title. I want CM Punk to win the title, but I want him to be pushed the way that TNA started when they pushed Samoa Joe. That's how I want CM Punk. I don't want it to be like, okay, CM Punk's obviously going to win the title. I want it to be like, when is CM Punk going to win the title? And then when he wins the title, it's a big deal. But if they keep giving CM Punk a constant push and constant shots at the title, beating Elijah Burke and stuff, if he wins every qualifying match he's in, people are going to be like, alright already, just let him win the freaking title. You let him win everything else. Let CM Punk lose a few freaking times and have him go through these trials and really have to work for the title again, to where the wrestling fans will actually watch because they want CM Punk to get a push. If you give them an expected push, then by the time CM Punk gets a title, which I hope isn't at the pay-per-view, then people are going to be like, yeah, CM Punk got the title, and that's it. There's no waiting for CM Punk to get the title right now. You need to build some sort of want for him to get the title, like what they did with Samoa Joe. And then TNA messed up their Samoa Joe thing by when they got Kurt Angle, they immediately gave the title to them. So now they have this every title versus every title thing at the next TNA pay-per-view, which is exactly stupid. And WWE can really capitalize on this with CM Punk, because CM Punk is like their Samoa Joe in a way. Well, that's just some advice I'd give to them, but I know they're not going to listen to me. Anyway, thanks for listening, and that's all I got to say about that. Later.